we've all experienced that nagging voice in the back of our minds. The one that whispers relentlessly, "What will they think of me?" Whether it's at work, in social circles, or on social media, the weight of others' opinions can feel unbearable. It's like carrying an invisible burden that grows heavier with every passing moment. But let me tell you a liberating truth. Caring too much about what others think is a mental prison, a self-imposed cell that holds you back from living your most authentic life. Think about it. How many times have you altered your behavior, suppressed your thoughts, or silenced your dreams just to avoid judgment? It's exhausting. It drains your energy, clouds your sense of self, and ultimately prevents you from experiencing true freedom. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of resilience and wisdom, understood this struggle profoundly. They taught that we should focus solely on what we can control and let go of everything else, especially other people's opinions. After all, why should someone else's fleeting judgment define your self-worth? Why let their limited perspective dictate your limitless potential? Stoicism reveals a powerful truth. The only approval you should ever seek is your own. An approval deeply rooted in your values, your principles, and the integrity of your actions. Other people's opinions are like passing clouds. They may temporarily block the sun, but they never diminish its brilliance. In this video, we're going to explore 5 transformative Stoic strategies to help you stop caring what others think. These time-tested practices will empower you to break free from the mental trap of external validation and live a life that feels true to you. A life of courage, authenticity, and inner peace. If you're ready to reclaim your mental freedom and rediscover your inner strength, stay with me until the very end of this video. I promise, every moment will be worth your time. While you're here, take a moment to subscribe to Invincible within for more content like this. Content that inspires and empowers. And as you listen, share your thoughts by commenting below with, "I deserve." A bold affirmation of your worth and your commitment to living authentically. Don't forget to share this video with a friend who needs to hear this message today. Together, we can create a ripple effect of inner freedom and strength. Let's dive in. Realize that people think about themselves more than they think about you. The first step to breaking free from the fear of others' opinions is understanding a liberating truth. Most people are far more concerned with their own lives than they are with yours. It's a simple yet profound realization, and when it sinks in, it can feel like a breath of fresh air. You might believe that every word you say, every move you make, is being scrutinized by others. But let's be honest, how often do you find yourself deeply focused on someone else's life? Rarely, if ever. Most of the time, you're thinking about your own challenges, aspirations, and insecurities. The same is true for everyone else. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, captured this paradox beautifully in his work Meditations. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Think about that irony for a moment. We prioritize our own well-being above all else, yet we let other people's fleeting judgment shape our sense of self-worth. It's like handing over the keys to your life to someone who isn't even paying attention. Here's the reality. Most people's thoughts about you are brief and fleeting, if they exist at all. When someone does think about you, their judgments are usually shaped by their own insecurities, biases, and personal struggles. Their opinions often reveal more about than about you. So why let something so fleeting and subjective hold so much power over your life? The next time you find yourself worrying about what someone might think, pause. Ask yourself, are they really thinking about me, or am I just projecting my own fears? Even if someone does have an opinion about you, remind yourself that it's not your problem. What they think is their burden to carry, not yours. 2. Detach from the need for approval. Seeking approval is one of the most natural human tendencies. From a young age, We're wired to seek validation from others, whether it's from parents, teachers, or peers. But when this need becomes the foundation of your self-worth, it turns into a trap that's almost impossible to escape. The Stoics understood this deeply and warned against it. They believed that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external sources. Epictetus, another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, emphasized that we should focus only on what is within our control. And guess what? Other people's opinions are never within your control. Think about it. You could follow all the rules, do everything perfectly, and still face judgment. No matter how hard you try to please everyone, someone somewhere will find fault. Why? Because people's opinions are shaped by their own experiences, biases, and expectations, not by any universal standard of truth. By clinging to the need for approval, you're putting your happiness in the hands of others, handing over control of your inner peace to forces completely beyond your influence. This is why detaching from the need for approval is one of the most liberating practices you can adopt. It's not about rejecting others entirely. It's about shifting your focus inward, toward your own values and principles. When you stop seeking external validation, something remarkable happens. You begin to find peace in your own approval. Your worth stops being defined by others' fleeting opinions and starts being anchored in your alignment with your own values. And here's the beautiful irony: when you stop chasing approval, you often end up receiving more of it. People are naturally drawn to authenticity and self-assuredness, but by the time their approval comes, you'll realize something profound. It no longer matters. Living in alignment with your principles, free from the constant need for validation, is one of the most empowering transformations you can experience. It's a weight lifted off your shoulders, a freedom that allows you to focus on what truly matters. So, let go of the need for approval and embrace the only opinion that truly counts: your own. 3. Focus on what you can control. One of the most transformative teachings of Stoicism is its emphasis on focusing your energy only on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. This principle is especially powerful when applied to the anxiety we feel about others' opinions. The Stoics recognized that while we hold full control over our actions, thoughts, and responses, we have absolutely no control over what others think, say, or feel about us. Take a moment to let that sink in. You could spend hours, days, or even years agonizing over how others perceive you, replaying scenarios in your mind or crafting responses to hypothetical criticisms. But in the end, their thoughts are shaped by factors completely beyond your reach. Perhaps they misinterpreted your words, or maybe they're carrying baggage from their own lives. You might be caught in the crossfire of their bad day or insecurity. Whatever the reason, it's their perspective, not a reflection of your reality. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, encapsulated this idea perfectly when he said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." His words remind us that true freedom lies not in controlling the external world, but in mastering our inner responses to it. Imagine this: you're about to give a presentation at work, and the thought of being judged by your colleagues consumes you. You worry they might think you're unprepared or incapable. This fear could easily undermine your confidence and affect your delivery. But now, shift your focus. Instead of stressing over their potential judgments, direct your energy toward what you can control, preparing thoroughly, practicing your delivery, and speaking with clarity. When you take this approach, you reclaim your power. The opinions of your audience, whether positive or negative, lose their hold over you because you've done your best. And that's all anyone can do. By adopting this mindset, you free yourself from the exhausting and fruitless pursuit of external validation. You become empowered, grounded, and resilient. Life will no longer feel like a performance for others, but rather an authentic expression of your values and efforts. When you focus on what you can control, your actions, your character, and your growth. You experience a peace that no external judgment can disrupt. 4. Recognize the impermanence of opinions. One of the most liberating insights from Stoicism is the impermanence of all things, including the opinions of others. What someone thinks of you today might completely change tomorrow. Opinions are like the wind, constantly shifting direction, influenced by fleeting emotions, circumstances, and external factors that often have nothing to do with you. Take a moment to reflect on this truth. How many times have your own opinions about people or situations changed over time? Perhaps you once held a negative view of someone, only to later realize you misjudged them. Or maybe you once admired someone, only to see their flaws in a different light. The same holds true for how others see you. People's opinions are fluid, unpredictable, and often fleeting. Allowing such unstable judgments to define your self-worth is not only unwise, it's exhausting. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, constantly reminded himself of this reality. In Meditations he wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about the irony here. We value our own existence more than anyone else's, yet we let the ever-changing thoughts of others dictate our sense of worth. It's a contradiction that traps us in unnecessary suffering. Imagine being praised one day, only to be criticized the next. If you let such fluctuations affect your inner peace, you'll find yourself on an emotional roller coaster, chasing approval and avoiding criticism at every turn. But the Stoics offer a way out. Root yourself in your principles. Focus on living a virtuous life, one guided by kindness, integrity, and authenticity. When you do this, the opinions of others become like passing clouds, acknowledged but not held onto. The next time you feel stung by someone's judgment, pause and remind yourself their opinion is temporary. Time will move on, circumstances will change, and so will their thoughts. By recognizing the impermanence of opinions, you free yourself from their grip. You stop being tossed around by the winds of external validation, and instead stand firmly rooted in the stability of your own character. Ultimately, the Stoics teach us this: your worth is not defined by what others think of you, but by how you live your life. Choose to live according to your principles, and let the fleeting judgments of others fade into irrelevance. 5. Practice self-reflection over seeking validation. One of the cornerstones of Stoicism is the practice of self-reflection. The Stoics understood a profound truth. The only person who truly knows whether you are living in accordance with your principles is you. Self-reflection is not merely an exercise in introspection. It is a tool for self-discovery, growth, and alignment with your deepest values. Instead of looking outward for approval, the Stoic path encourages you to turn inward and ask yourself the hard questions. Am I living according to my values? Have I handled today's challenges in a way I can be proud of? When you engage in this kind of daily self-assessment, you begin to develop a strong internal compass. This compass, grounded in your principles, allows you to navigate life with clarity and confidence. Instead of being swayed by the opinions or judgments of others, you learn to trust your own judgment and intuition. The need for external validation fades, replaced by a deeper sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you are living with integrity. The Stoics often emphasized the importance of journaling as a form of self-reflection. Marcus Aurelius, for example, wrote down his thoughts and reflections each day, not for anyone else to read, but as a way to anchor himself in the principles that mattered most to him. His journal, which we now know as Meditations, was a private dialogue with himself, a tool to remind him of the lessons he needed to embody. Through this practice, Marcus reinforced his values and stayed grounded in his own moral compass, rather than relying on external judgments to define his worth. This practice remains as powerful today as it was in ancient times. By dedicating time each day to reflect on your actions, choices, and responses, you cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself. Journaling can be a particularly effective method. Write about how you handled challenges, how you aligned or didn't align with your values, and what you can learn from the day's experiences. Over time, this practice strengthens your sense of self-worth and resilience. When you consistently reflect on your own actions, you build a trust in yourself that is unshakable. Criticism and praise from others lose their power because you know you are living authentically. You no longer depend on external approval. Instead, you are guided by the quiet confidence that comes from being true to yourself. In this way, self-reflection is not just a habit. It is a form of liberation. 6. Build inner confidence through action. Confidence isn't something that appears magically. It is built through deliberate, consistent action. For the Stoics, confidence was not tied to the approval of others, but was rooted in doing what is right and living in alignment with one's values. Each time you take action that reflects your principles, you are laying the foundation for unshakable inner confidence. True confidence grows through small, everyday acts of courage and discipline. It's developed when you choose to face challenges head-on, make difficult decisions with integrity, and stand firm in your beliefs even when it's uncomfortable. Every time you take a step forward in the face of uncertainty or fear, you are proving to yourself that you are capable and resilient. Consider the situations where others may doubt your abilities or criticize your decisions. It's easy to internalize their negativity and let it shake your confidence. But if you've built your self-belief through consistent action, you'll find their opinions hold little weight. You've already demonstrated to yourself what you're capable of, and that inner proof is far more valuable than any external validation. Epictetus captured this beautifully when he said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This principle reminds us that action is the bridge between who we are and who we want to become. The more we act in alignment with our higher selves, the less we rely on the opinions of others to feel good about who we are. Imagine you're pursuing a challenging goal, like starting a business or training for a marathon. Along the way, you might encounter naysayers who question your abilities or doubt your commitment. Instead of letting their words discourage you, focus on your actions, putting in the hours, overcoming obstacles, and making progress one step at a time. Each small victory builds your confidence and fortifies your belief in yourself. Over time, this accumulation of aligned actions creates a kind of self-assurance that no criticism can undermine. You begin to realize that the approval of others is irrelevant because you've already validated yourself through your efforts. The satisfaction of knowing you are living authentically and courageously outweighs any fleeting praise or criticism. Whenever you find yourself overly concerned about how others perceive you, ask yourself this: what can I do right now that aligns with my values? Then take that action, no matter how small. Every step you take toward your goal strengthens your inner foundation and brings you closer to the unshakable confidence that allows you to live on your own terms. 7. Accept that you can't please everyone. One of the most difficult yet profoundly liberating truths to embrace is this: you cannot please everyone. No matter how hard you try, someone will always disapprove, misunderstand, or disagree with you. The Stoics, with their clear-eyed view of human nature, understood this well. They recognized that we have no control over others' opinions, judgments, or perceptions. Trying to gain universal approval is not just futile. It's a recipe for frustration and unhappiness. The need to please often stems from a desire to avoid conflict, gain acceptance, or maintain harmony. But in reality, this habit of seeking external validation can lead to a quiet form of self-betrayal. Each time you bend to someone else's expectations or preferences at the expense of your own values, you chip away at your sense of self. Over time, this creates a toxic cycle of resentment, frustration, and discontent. Marcus Aurelius captured this truth succinctly when he wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This paradox lies at the heart of why so many people struggle with self-worth. We expend so much energy worrying about how others see us, often sacrificing our happiness and well-being to satisfy their fleeting expectations. But what happens when you let go of the need to please everyone? A profound sense of freedom emerges. You no longer feel the weight of catering to every opinion or the anxiety of trying to be everything to everyone. You become free to live authentically, guided by your own values, principles, and inner compass. This freedom empowers you to set boundaries, to say no when necessary, and to make decisions that truly serve your well-being. Accepting that some people won't like you, approve of you, or agree with your choices is not a failure. It's a sign of emotional maturity and inner strength. When you embrace this truth, you gain the courage to prioritize what matters most to you and to live a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies the belief that true freedom comes from within. It is not dependent on external validation or the opinions of others. Instead, it is rooted in aligning your actions with your principles. When you stop obsessing over what others think and focus instead on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, you unlock a powerful sense of confidence and inner peace. The opinions of others are often fleeting, shaped by their own insecurities, biases, and circumstances. Why let these unreliable judgments dictate your self-worth or influence your decisions? By focusing on what truly matters, your integrity, your values, and your growth, you free yourself from the burden of external expectations. When you let go of the fear of judgment, you start to see life through a different lens. You become more authentic, more courageous, and more at peace. Your worth is no longer tied to what others think, but to the strength of your character and the actions you take. Each step you take in alignment with your values builds an unshakable foundation of self-respect and resilience. So the next time you find yourself worrying about someone's opinion, take a step back. Pause, reflect. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my principles? If the answer is yes, then let the rest take care of itself. The judgments of others will come and go, but the satisfaction of living authentically will remain. If these Stoic lessons resonated with you, don't let them end here. Commit to living with courage, authenticity, and purpose every day. And if you found this video valuable, consider sharing these insights with others who might need them. Hit the subscribe button and join our community at Invincible Within, a place where we grow stronger together. Leave a comment below like, "I'm deserve," to affirm your journey toward greater self-worth. Don't forget to like this video and share it with friends who could use a dose of inspiration. Together, let's build a life of strength, wisdom, and unshakable confidence. You are in control of your life. Now, take the next step toward becoming truly invincible within.